Hello, I'm going to work out the homework even problems. So this is on page 151, 152, just the even problems. You can find the odd problems in the folder above the SQE purple folder. Okay, so first problem is you have a squared minus 16 is equal to 0. So we can look at this two ways. This is the difference of two squares. A squared is perfect square of 16. So I know that this is going to factor to a plus 4 and a minus 4. And I can just set each of these equal to 0, so I find that my two answers are positive 4 and negative 4. Problem number 4, we have 3x to the third minus 27x is equal to 0. So I can factor a 3x out of both, and that leaves me x squared minus 9 equals 0. Well, this 3x is going to just give me x equals 0. There's three answers to this because it's raised to the third power. And then x squared minus 9 breaks down to x plus 3 and x minus 3 because x squared and 9 are both perfect squares. So this is going to also give me an answer of x equals negative 3 and x equals positive 3. There's my three answers. Problem number 6, we need to factor it. So we have this out front. So I'm going to multiply negative 54 times 1, so I get negative 54. When I get a negative, I know I have alternating signs. And the factors of 54, 1 and 54 won't work, 2 and 27 won't work. Remember, they're trying to get to negative 3. And so I'd say 9 and 6 would work. And we're going to have a negative 9x and a positive 6x. So that's going to replace the negative 3x. And then I'm going to factor that out. Remember, the middle sign comes through. A 6 comes out. That leaves me x minus 9. So then I'm going to wind up with x plus 6 equals 0. So x equals negative 6. And x minus 9 equals 0. So x equals positive 9. Problem number 8. We do have like terms that we have to combine together first to start solving it. So if I combine those together, I get 6x minus 12 is equal to 0. So add 12 to both sides. So x equals 2 because 12 divided by 6. Number 10, we have 2x squared plus 40x plus 200 is equal to 0. First thing I would do is I would divide everything by 2. And so that's going to give me x squared plus 20x plus 100 equals 0. So this factors down quickly to x plus 10, x plus 10. So we get an answer of x equals negative 10 if we set one of those equal to 0. This is something that's called a double root. And you'll see more of that in 2 years when you take Algebra 2 after you take geometry. Problem number 12, this is z squared minus 10z plus 25 is equal to 0. So we're going to get z minus 5 and z minus 5. I'm just quickly factoring these. So I get z is equal to 5. Again, this is the same thing. It's a double root. That'll mean something when you get to Algebra 2 after geometry. And the rest of the problems you should be fine with. So let's go ahead and go on to page 153. Let's see if I can find which page it is. Okay, so there were special cases. Remember, difference of two squares. So difference of two squares are ones like this. So this would factor to x plus 3, x minus 3. This would factor to x plus 2, x minus 2. And this would factor x plus 4, x minus 4, so on and so forth. Don't worry too much about these because we'll just factor these traditionally. It's kind of hard to recognize, and it doesn't always work when you think that you found a pattern on these. So we'll just do these traditional ways of factoring, okay? All right, so we're going to solve this. This is the difference of two squares because x times x is x squared. 6 times 6 is 36. So I need to have alternating signs. They're equal to 0. So the first one's going to give me x equals negative 6. The second one gives me x equals positive 6. And both of these are my answers. This particular problem, this is a little goofier problem. So I'm going to subtract 49, bring it over here. equals 0. These are both perfect squares. So I get 5x plus 7y and 5x minus 7y. And this is kind of a goofy problem. I'm not a big fan of it because you go and solve this for x, you wind up with kind of a silly answer. I don't know if it's real helpful to have this answer or not. And then my other one would have responded being this exact, just the conjugate of it. It's kind of goofy because you're getting x alone, but I don't know how helpful that'll be for you. So I wouldn't stress too much about this type of problem. Okay, problem number 3. So put a 1 out front. That's positive 49. What two numbers multiply to give you 49, add to give you 14? So they both have to be negative, so negative 7, negative 7. So you get x squared minus 7x plus 49. So this is going to give me x and x minus 7, and then factor the negative 7 out, x minus 7. So I get x minus 7 and x minus 7 equals 0. So your answer comes back to x equals 7. And again, this is one of those they call a double root. All right, number 4. Basically what I want to do is I want to divide everything by 6. So that's going to give me x squared plus 10x plus, let's see, what is that? 6 goes into 15 twice. That's 25 times. And then this is going to factor actually down to x plus 5 and x plus 5 if you do it our traditional way. Multiply those, get 25, positive 25. So you get 5 and 5, both positive that you'd plug in, and it would work out. So this is going to give me x is equal to negative 5. And again, this stands for something called a double root. Actually, if you look up at the board when I bring up the graphing thing, you don't have to know how to use the graphing thing. It's a program called Desmos, but I'll work through it on the class. So when you see me get to number 3 and number 4, maybe pause this video, watch how I work through it, and then you can start the video back up because the double root will make sense by looking up at the board. Okay, so your homework for tonight will be page 155, 156, and we're going to do this. Let's just, excuse me. Why don't we do 1 through 23 odd on page 155, 156. Okay, have a nice day. Bye.